The White House is currently in damage control mode. This just one day after President Obama said his administration does not have a real strategy yet on how to deal with ISIS militants in Syria. I'm Morgan Thompson, and this is your Newsmax Now update. Today, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest tried to walk back the president's comments, saying there is a strategy and it may include military action.
One that is deliberate. If he does take that step, it will be one that is carefully considered, one that is deliberately arrived at, and one that will be made in close consultation with the United States Congress.
The two-time Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul agrees that Congress should be consulted. He spoke about that earlier today on Newsmax TV.
From my viewpoint, as bad as it may seem over there, getting involved unnecessarily makes it worse. I think one solution could be, if people feel compelled, why don't we just follow the rule and say, let the American people speak up, make their congressmen vote on a declaration of war.
The former Texas congressman added that airstrikes and nation building in the Mideast is a failed policy. And now, top U.S. security officials are on high alert as new intelligence reports suggest groups linked to ISIS are operating south of the U.S. border. The report by Judicial Watch says they plan on attacking the U.S. with car bombs and other improvised explosive devices. Of course, just a couple of weeks ago, Texas Governor Rick Perry said ISIS may already be in the U.S.
Individuals from ISIS or other terrorist states could be, and I think that it's a very real possibility that they may have already used that. The border between the United States and Mexico is unsecure.
Meanwhile, the British government is raising the country's terror threat level to severe for the first time since 2011. Earlier today, British Prime Minister David Cameron said the current situation requires the threat level to be raised, and he will introduce new laws to combat extremism.
But what we're facing in Iraq now with ISIL is a greater and deeper threat to our security than we have known before. We are facing a terrorist organization not being hosted in a country, but actually seeking to establish and then violently expand its own terrorist state.
Cameron says new legislation will soon be introduced to make it easier to protect the homeland from terrorist attacks. And in New York, family members say comedian Joan Rivers is stable but still in critical condition. The comedian's heart stopped during vocal cord surgery yesterday. Her daughter, Melissa Rivers, issued a statement. That's your Newsmax Now update. Now back to the Steve Malzberg Show.